Oh,
Good morning, everyone. We
if
are
you want to
live,
call it
Daphne.
that. Oh my God. Yeah, barely. We had a long weekend.
It is Monday, August 3rd.
No!
Yes, 2022.
Already?
Yeah. You want to just do this?
Yeah, just to do it. Hit it!
Your favorite podcast, it's Critical Plus.
It's Monty Moore. I'm a 30-year comics veteran in comics, games, and movies, and you've been watching one of my absolute favorite podcasts, Catch the Craze.
You are watching Catch the Craze.
What am I listening to?
And you're listening to Catch the Craze.
Where are all the indies at?
A Catch the Craze podcast.
What are you watching?
I'm watching Catch the Craze.
What are you going to do?
Subscribe now to Catch the Craze, the #1 show online for independent.
Have you subscribed to?
You are an independent. Catch the Craze! Making moves on your own. Catch the Craze! On your grind in the streets. Catch the Craze! Join the movement. Catch the Craze!
Oh my goodness.
Look at this.
Yeah, I know. It's like I had to run out for a split second because I knew I was forgetting something, but no, we're good. We're all good. So welcome everybody to another episode of TR2TV, our favorite show on the internet, whatever this is.
Yeah.
There you go. So welcome everybody. August 1st already. The to-do list has been reset and it's time for another round of panicking. So welcome. Hello everybody, my name is Daphne Lage and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. Am I? Oh yes. I forgot I was these are the headphones that I was wearing today. I have been self-publishing since 1992, and I am known for the funny animal fantasy adventure Tall Tales, which, oh my God, I should be getting the books very, very soon, probably the next couple of days. I can finally fulfill this thing. I swear. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the campaign. And I am also known for my medieval fantasy soap opera drama, Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn. Now, Volume 1, collecting issues 1 through 4. I can't believe we're here already. So launches August 22nd, 2022, as opposed to any other time. And the links are in the show notes, so you can sign up for the pre-launch page and get notified when the campaign goes live, because I got some first day goodies that always go really, really quickly. So you want to make sure that you sign up for the pre-launch page so you don't miss anything, because usually within the first couple of hours these things are gone, but we'll talk about that later. You can read both my comics online at Tall Tales, TAILS online.com, and egoworks.com, EGOWORKS. And you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics here on YouTube on my channel at Daphne Lage, LHEE Art, which also simulcasts through the Ragin 2 network. So make sure you hit my notification button, Nita's notification buttons, all the notification buttons, all the bells, all the buttons, all the whistles. Make the algorithm gods happy. It doesn't cost you a thing, and also you get notified whenever any of our shows go live, which means you don't miss anything anywhere. So there you have it. It's that simple. Nita, take it away.
My name is Nita Lanning. I am a writer, vlogger, blogger from Southeast Louisiana. I am executive producer of the Ragin 2 Broadcast Network.
Oh, there you go. And yes, and speaking of transformations, your
I know, right?
wall is getting more and more naked, more naked.
It's going to be completely naked by hopefully this afternoon, because my paper's supposed to come in tomorrow, I believe.
Oh,
and
so
I built the shelves last night. Yeah, it's going to be sexy as fuck when I'm done with it.
That's nice. Yeah, and you were doing some tricks with the frames. The painting wasn't working out, so you used
duct tape.
Duct tape, and
duct tape.
I think it works like a charm. So why spend money when you don't have to? It's like you know. So welcome everybody to another episode. So who's in the chat today? Who's joining us?
We've got Peter, who will be joining us at 11:30 with Mark Torres.
Oh yes,
and
we have
discussing their book Designated Issue 1.
Yes, which I think launched yesterday. I think it was last night.
Yeah, yesterday or the day before. Well, very, very recently.
Yeah, very recently.
Mike Jimmy.
Oh,
as
very nice.
Always, and a whole bunch of people that are being really secretive. Pops, what's up?
Oh, yes,
and a mysterious Facebook user.
Oh, declare yourself, sir.
If you are watching from Facebook or Twitter, please hop over to YouTube, like and subscribe to the channel, and say hi again so we can always see who you are.
Right, yeah. Facebook is being a pest, as always. So
Patrick's here.
Oh, hello, everybody's here. Thank you for going. Yes.
That is actually the work schedule that from June and July. So once I put it back on the wall, it'll be updated.
Right. Oh, there you go. So we didn't forget anything when we took down the whiteboard.
No, right now it's on paper.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, exactly. So yes, and I want to acknowledge the 8 people that are currently watching us from regions beyond. As Nita says, if you're watching us from Facebook or from Twitter, come on over to YouTube so that you don't have to worry about you're very fresh. Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yes. Saturday. Okay. Yes, you're fresh out of the oven. That's true. But we'll talk more about it at the half-hour mark, so come on over and join the sexy people in the chat. And it's like, and don't worry that way we don't have to worry about any Facebook nonsense. So so is there any housekeeping that we have before I don't know,
we got the usual going down.
Oh,
we got Sunrise Blossom 1 through 3 is available in pre-launch right now on Kickstarter. And of course, Roadkill Rampage is ramping it up. Tina and Rodney are on their way for their best campaign. I know it. I can feel it. They're doing it. They're killing it. That's on Kickstarter. Lots of gore, lots of violence, lots of mystery. Yeah, awesomeness.
A lot of stuff going on. Yeah, it's like, yes, and of course. And if you want to ask us a question or have a comment, or there's some topic, a complaint. Yes,
I love complaints.
Or you just have something you want us to talk about. I mean, it's like if you're unable to join us in the chat, yes, you can email us at raginabc@gmail.com. And most likely than not, we will try to answer your questions or your complaints. We're not afraid. We are absolutely not afraid.
Yeah, so stop hitting my DMs and send me an email.
Right, exactly. Wow. So yeah, I mean, a lot of campaigns are starting up. I just sent out my I made a new God, it's like I don't know how to keep my thoughts straight right now. There's just so much going on. The first of the month is always like this for me. Like I said, the to-do list got reset.
Find it, Daphne.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's a lot going on. Because this month is when I start inking. I actually started inking Eagle Raven issue 6. So so I have to get this thing done in August so that I can get the flats done. Now it's just trying to get all the books for next year done this year. And it sounds like I have a lot of time, but I don't. It's like you figure, December. It's like we'll have everything done by December, and then exactly. And it's like no, okay, let's focus, right? And then of course I have the layouts to issue 8 that I have to finish as well. So it's like that one's not as bad. I think I'm more than halfway done through the book. Hey, so at least but that's pretty much Marvy. That's pretty much my August. I'm just tidying up some final things, some final commissions. I'm going to be getting some stuff done today as well. I just have, I'm hitting the ground running, Nita. I'm hitting the ground running. So what do you have? What do you have aside from the office, of course?
The office is priority right now, but also taking care of the usual commission work and also for me right now, it's getting ready for school. I am not crying, people. I made dumplings this morning for breakfast, and the canola oil on the stove has set my eyes off for some reason.
Oh no!
So, nobody worry, I'm okay.
Right. Okay, yeah, I know. It's like it's very tragic the first of the month, as always.
God.
That's why I always keep baby wipes nearby, because it's like you never know what's gonna be irritating.
God, my makeup was fucking fire this morning too.
Well, hey, now you got that whole heroin chic going. So
yeah. Oh my God, I could totally do that right now. 90s. All I got to do is drag my fingers down one time, right. Daphne.
Exactly. But yeah, so I had mentioned that Eagle Raven, we have 22 days before the launch of Eagle Raven Volume 1, which I still can't believe I'm at that point. Oh yes, gotta keep it moving, Mike Jimmy. Gotta keep it moving. Because consistency is better than perfection. Always remember that, everybody. Don't worry. It's like, look, if you can always fix it later, but the idea is to just keep it moving, because that's what you need. You need to get that momentum going. Oh, thank you. Yes, I have a article in the next Comics Unlimited that Glenn Fleming has released. So yeah, and I did the cover too. A nice little Jack Kirby homage. So I'm hoping everybody enjoys that. So yeah, so with the upcoming campaign for Eagle Raven Volume 1, I just want to reiterate how important it is for people to sign up for the pre-launch page, even though we still have 22 days left before the actual launch. Because last night I actually put together the swag bag that I always have for the first pledgers. So I just wanted to show off what you will be getting if you are one of the first 45 people to pledge, to make a physical pledge on the campaign on the day it opens. And here's the thing. Usually by the end of the first day, I have around like 60 something people who already pledge. So if you want this grab bag, this swag bag that I have, you have to be on it on that first day, or you're going to miss out on it.
Just show us the goods,
right,
man.
So this is the swag bag, the complete swag bag. But I'm going to show you what's in it. So the first 45 people to make physical pledges will have this added to their pledge at no additional cost, just for showing up on that first day. And like I said, these things usually go really fast. So the first thing that you're going to get is this Eagle Raven sticker sheet. No, it is not a pony, but it could be pictures of a pony. It's a kind of ish pictures of a pony. But yes, it's so you get this sticker sheet, this vinyl sticker sheet, in the bag, and then you get this circle sticker that features the image from the trade paperback cover. So you get that as well. And then you get a really, really cute holographic sticker to go with it. I mean, you can cover your entire laptop with this bag, right? Oh, and of course, for those of you who are not really into stickers, but prefer something a little bit, more durable. So we have this magnet.
About time.
This is another magnet that you're also going to get in the bag. And then it's like all the special. Then there's these two little special things which are my favorite. You get a pin back. You also get a new pin for all your denim jackets that I know you're all still wearing. So you get this pin right here of the crew, and I think this might be my favorite. You get a keychain. You also get an acrylic keychain, and so this is going to be what the first 45 people on who pledge to physical levels on the campaign, they're going to get. So you're going to get this in your thank you. Yes, your fridge needs this magnet. Yes, and so that's why you go to the links down below in the show notes. You click no patch yet. We're kind of slowly getting through all the different swag that we have. Also, let me see if I have a little bit more time to show this off. Another reason. Another thing that I think everyone will like, because in the end it's like I'm just that person. So another reason why you should keep an eye on the campaign and know when it goes live, is so that you don't miss out on this, of course, this exclusive cover that I am making for the trade paperback campaign. Now, see, that's the thing. Trade paperbacks you can't really do variant covers for. It's not really feasible, especially at the amount that we usually sell at as indie creators. But for those of you who love collectible covers, this campaign is for you. So, for those of you who support the campaign, you will be able to get access to a brand new, the infamous Victoriana nude cover is coming back in a second edition. This is a copyright strike for everybody. So I did a brand new cover. It's the second version of my Victoriana nude cover, which I did for the second issue campaign. We're bringing it back. And this is going to be a reprinting of Eager Raven issue 1, right, with this variant cover, nude variant cover that comes in 4 flavors, comes in regular, our silver foil edition, our virgin edition, which doesn't have any logos on it, and the ever popular hollow edition. They will be available as either a set on a level, or you can get them individually as add-ons. But it will be limited to the campaign. So if you miss out on the campaign, you're missing out on this cover, because I'm not making extras. It's like whatever gets pledged on in the campaign, that's what I'm printing, and that's it.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
That's also another reason why you want to make sure you're signed up for the pre-launch, so that you don't miss out on anything. So remember, the first 45 people gets this swag bag. And like I said, usually by the end of the first day, I have like 60 something people signing, pledging. So these go pretty quickly. Everybody likes these things. So, and also, like I said, you can get the nude cover. Yes, exactly. You can get the Eagle Raven nude cover reissue of issue 1 to go with your volume 1. But again, it's limited edition. It's limited only to people who pledge to it, and that's it. So so that's the thing. That's the reason why you should always pay attention to pre-launches. Yeah, I know, right? It's like,
oh my gosh.
But yeah, so that's what's coming up on the Eagle Raven campaign in 22 days, just to give everybody a taste. And also, if you want to see some previews of some other like special edition prints and whatnot that I'm going to have on that campaign, make sure you're signed up to my newsletter at eagleworks.com. I've been sending out a weekly email for the past couple of weeks, showing everybody art previews and whatnot, the limited edition art prints, the stretch goals, some new things that I've just been working on for funsies. It's like just to kind of get everybody excited for the campaign, which I hope you are anyway, because like I said, the first 4 issues already in a trade paperback. I'm still kind of,
it's wild.
Yeah, it kind of feels like just yesterday I put that first issue out, and it's like, oh, I'm laying out issue 8 now. So it's because right before the show that you were saying that as you're cleaning out your office, you're realizing that individual issues are just not cutting it for you anymore. Right.
It's just I don't have the space. I've got boxes and boxes and boxes. Yeah. And it's like, a number 1 on an indie is going to have to be something really spectacular for me to back it right now. Yeah. Physically, I'll get digital still, but for a couple of reasons. 1, it takes up so much damn space, and 2, one thing I can't stand is getting something that's promised it's going to be like a continuation, and book 1 comes out and it's like, yes, this is awesome, and you never fucking hear from that artist again. Yeah, that happens, or writer. That happens so many times. Like I was looking, I've got like at least 30 number 1s that were left on cliffhangers that I'll never. It's like, man.
I know that's really a shame. And it's like, and it's like, and it takes us cleaning out the office to realize like how bad that is, that's like, holy crap. It's like, I really don't have the space for floppies anymore, for individual issues. It's like, and also it's like, counting to 2, counting to 4, counting to 6. I mean, it's like, in the end, that's why they tell you don't start off with your grand epic, but that sometimes even doing a 3-issue limited series never makes it that far. So,
yeah, right.
Which is a shame, because there's a lot of good books out there, and it's just like, I don't know, it's like a lot of creators just, I don't know.
We know for a lot of them, I think it is they released that issue 1, and so many people come in thinking easy money.
Right. Yeah.
And it's not. This is a hard game.
Yeah, people. Exactly. I mean, it's
hard
a grind.
Game. It's a grind no matter what you do.
Yeah.
And there are so many nuances and things to figure out. And they get in there and they do this spectacular issue 1, and it barely funds, and then they're like, I got just enough to cover the printing cost, and they just give up.
Right. Yeah. Which like I said, is a shame,
It really is.
But the thing is, on our end, it's like, now it's like, I'm looking at my limited shelf space now, definitely. And it's just like, it's like, I can only afford trade paperbacks. Like, you have to work your way to a trade paperback for me to be able to, exactly. Yeah. Too many moving parts. They really underestimate that. And it's like, okay, you have a trade paperback, I'm in. I'm more likely to support you. But it's like, if it's going to be like an issue 1 or an issue 2, it's like, I'm probably going to have to hold off on that. It's like, because, it's like limited space. And trades are just a lot easier for me right now. So there's a bunch of you that I'm watching. Don't worry. It's like there's a bunch of you that I'm watching that I'm pretty confident it looks like you're going to be releasing a trade paperback. So when you do that, I'm there. There's a couple of campaigns out there. It's like, I know trade paperback, right? Yeah, you're gonna get one. So yeah. Well, except
they are exceptionally active this morning.
Yeah, they are. They really are. I mean, sometimes because you know what it is, it's not as hot in the office right now.
My ass is nice too.
There you go. Yeah, it's not as hot in the office. We finally made it down to 79 degrees.
Oh, they're celebrating.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little rainy
today,
you know. So yeah, because I mean, it's like, look, that's also. Hey, again, declare yourself Facebook user.
Yeah, Facebook user. Head over to YouTube and say hi.
You know, so yeah, so it's like I'm not as melty today, you know, but it's still a little gross, but not as bad, you know. So at least we can make it through the show without me having to turn on the AC. So that's good, because really I am not looking forward to any of these electric bills coming up, you know.
Oh gosh.
You know, but that's so that's pretty much what's going on with us. Mark is patiently waiting in the green room. I mean, we have about 5 minutes, but you know what? There's no reason for us to wait until the exact 11:30. So why don't we show some love, and then we'll bring him in, and then we get to find out what his take on Peter. The grind is, you know. So go ahead. So yeah, let's show some love, and we'll be right back.
Infamous gunslinger Desmond Gibbons, better known across the Wild West as the Cactus Kid, comes to the sleepy town of Clarkson. Trouble finds him in the unlikeliest of sources, the sheriff. After their conflict, the Cactus Kid finds himself inexplicably wearing the badge of a lawman. Later, while on the trail of a serial killer, he and his deputy run afoul of a powerful druid, and the events that lead to the Cactus Kid's transformation into the hulking, four-armed projectile reptile are even more than the druid bargained for. From the Wild West to current-day Los Angeles, where he meets superheroes Black Eagle and Red Hawk, and forms an uneasy alliance with the stunning but deadly Kitty Hawk. Join the projectile reptile on a journey of gunslinging druidic magic, superheroes, and artifacts. Projectile Reptile from Dojo-kun Comics, only on Indiegogo. Are you ready for the truly Wild West?
Yes, sir, we are after that video.
Right, really. Hello, everybody.
Hello, ladies.
Usually it takes a convention for us to actually see your faces. I think this is like the first time, because usually like Peter is drawing and Mark is you're just on your radio circle there. So
well, I do have a face for radio.
Yes. But
I went over the conversation that you and I had with JD many times, and one of them was like, you got to get everything working for your digital studio. So that's what I did.
Oh, so there you go. So yeah, I mean, yeah, because it's like, especially, you know, it's now that you're doing the circuit, you know, the Kickstarter crowdfunding circuit, you know, people want to put a face to the book. So you know, it's like, yeah. So before we get into that, it's like, why don't you guys tell the peoples who you are?
Hi, I'm Mark Torres. I came from radio host. The official of the Big Apple Con, and I'm also the creator and writer of the book Designated.
And?
I think Peter's frozen.
Oh, no!
I am. Am I?
Yeah, well, you do have a delay going.
Yeah.
Why don't you? Yeah, it's like, yeah. Why don't you go to the? I was about to say, because sometimes StreamYard, it gives you a hassle with the video, but not the audio. So hit it.
Yeah. So I am Peter Palmiotti. I've been inking comics since 1991. Worked for Marvel, DC, Valiant. Had a few books through Image, but mostly I've worked on independent comics, and along with Designated that I'm doing with Mark, getting together my own book, Retro, soon to be on IGG this fall, winter, coming up.
Right, there you go. Yeah, by the end of the year. So Mark, I mean, it's like, so we've known each other for like a long time, and I've always seen this character, Sunburst, right? That you know, ever since you, even with the radio station, you've always had this character associated with you and your radio show. So what happened recently that now you're like going, okay, now I'm going to finally do it?
All right. So before we get to the questions, this has been sitting with me for the past 4 or 5 days, and this I wanted to tell you, the Catch the Craze promo was the first time I've ever seen without your glasses. Oh. So I was just like, that's weird. And the second thing was, you guys had a stream the other day about talking about social media and about getting that feeling. And I was typing the story, but it was too long to fit in the chat. So I was like, I'll tell you on Monday. So I want to tell the story before we get into it.
Okay. So
I was working at a movie theater, and I had a friend. I was a coworker, a manager, and I kind of had hots for her. And she was very popular on social media at the time when, you know, this is about 10 years ago. And I got her a piece of artwork, and she loved it. I had a friend of mine, Torres, because she loves zombies. Torres is a zombie. And she loved it in person. I'm working with her. She loved it. She told everybody about it, but she never posted it online. And that bothered me. And I was waiting and waiting. I was like, why isn't she posting it online? Why isn't she posting it online? And one day it got to me, and I said, hey, how come you didn't post it on? Did you not like it? And she goes, I loved it, but I was waiting to put it in a frame before I was going to post it online. And that was when I learned never to fall into the pit of the online versus reality.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like, you know, it's like you're waiting for the virtual part of that shoe to drop, and it's like when you already knew that you loved the piece and everything.
I did, and that made me feel like such an idiot for calling her out on it, you know, especially she was right there. So that's something to learn about reality versus the virtual.
No, absolutely. Yeah,
so I know. I had to share that.
Yeah, no, social media, you know, it makes us crazy like that. But yeah,
digital masquerade, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so tell us about your little journey from radio host to doing a comic with this character that I've always associated you with. So
Sunburst is a creation I had made a long time ago, which actually is sort of adjacent to this actual campaign. The actual campaign is about superheroes on a low-key scale. But Sunburst is like my favorite of the super powerful superhero that you make back in the day. I went to comic book school in 1994, New York Academy of Comic Book Arts and Fantasy Illustration in Manhattan.
Ooh.
And it sounds fancier than it really was.
Well, it's kind of like the High School of Art and Design and whatnot. You know, it's like the name is more prestigious than what actually happens.
Right. So I always wanted to be in comics.
Yeah, I know. I know. We're all alumni. All right.
Always wanted to be in comics. That's one thing. And I came out the womb, wanted to do comic books. And I was doodling, and she was one of the characters that I made was Sunburst. And I just really liked her. And so she's been my character who I always wanted to get out there. And she actually was in the War of Independence issue #2 crossover with Phaser of Mariana Nesesia, tied to the War of Independence 6-issue series that I think he's on issue 5 now over the past 30 years.
Well, it happens. You see, that's what we were talking about. You know, put a trade paperback out.
And my character was her first appearance was in that book. And so then that kind of gave me the motivation to just keep her going. But in the school, one of the conversations at the time, remember this is the 90s, was that, if I come up with an idea, the big companies are going to steal it. And the discussion was, well, then you should, they'll just hire you instead of stealing your stuff, or you make something that you're willing to let go of and willing to lose part of the IP as it's called now.
Right.
So back then I was like, okay, so I have this idea for a comic book, but I don't want to lose it. So I have to make another idea that I'm willing to let go. And that's where Designated came from. It was my backup story idea because at the time, once again, in the 90s, I was told in the school, you can make your own comic book for $2,000.
Right.
And that seemed feasible to do in the 90s. Apparently, since we're 30 years later, it was not as easy as you would think it is to have to make $2,000 just to make a comic book.
Yeah. You know, especially if you're talking about hiring people and, you know, having the logistics of, and also it's like the fact that, you know, you have to print like 3,000 copies just to, you know, the landscape was a lot different back then than it is now.
So I made the story 30 years ago. I wrote it. 5 issues, 110 pages, wrote the entire story out. And at the time, because once again, this is the 90s, I went against type because 90s comics, if you remember, were very outlandish and extreme and everything was exploding and everything was super mega ultra whatever. So this story was a very antithesis of that. It was very low key. So all the powers that they have are very small and very intimate. And it's a very small, tiny story that takes place over, I think the main part of the story is like a day, maybe.
Right.
It's just stuff happens and how they react to it. So I wrote it. I got a penciler 30 years ago. He drew it all out. It took him. It was his first time ever doing anything like this. It was a brother of a friend of mine, and he was like, "Sure, I would like to draw it." And then he drew it, and over time it improved. The visuals improved so much so that at the end I had him go back to redraw a couple of panels and pages from the first issue. So this the first issue that we have in the Kickstarter campaign actually has both old and new drawings mixed in. You can be like, okay, you can see a little difference if you know, but it still flows.
Yeah.
So then I ran into Pete. I was like, hey, Pete, you want to ink it? And Pete's like, yeah. So he started inking it, and then life happens, and then a pandemic happens. And because of the pandemic, Kickstarter exploded. The crowdfunding virtual stuff exploded. So circumstances was like, you know, I think I'm able to do it now because of crowdfunding and the way things are now that I would never have been able to do, which I've been trying to do all these years. And this looks like this is the opportunity. So that is how we get from being in the comic school radio show all the way over here. And the radio show came out of my desire to get my book published. So I heard an advertisement when I was driving from the cemetery one day, and they were like, hey, if you have an idea or a passion for something and you want to talk to experts in your field, have a radio show. And I was like, that's a great idea. Maybe I can network and get my book published. So in a roundabout way, it actually worked. It just took the radio show is going to be our 20th anniversary next year, so it took 20 years for it to work out.
Right, now it's all about the live streaming. Now live streaming is how we network now, right? So, but the thing is though, you're not. That's not hyperbole. You really are on the radio.
Yeah, it's an actual terrestrial radio station and online radio station. So it's 88.1 FM WARY in Westchester County. And then we're on online radio stations, and then we're on over 40 podcast places. So if you just type in our name, you can find us. If you have Spotify, iHeartRadio, all that stuff, we're on there.
Right. Yeah. Because but to reiterate something that one of the comments, I'm sorry for at TIC Studios. It's a lot easier now. That's for sure. Because it's like what's between then and now. What was like the main huge difference that you go, oh my God, I can't believe I can do this now.
The reach.
Right.
Because back then the only way you can reach people if you were at a convention.
Right.
And even then, that's very limited because before New York Comic Con. New York Comic Con, all you had was San Diego, really. And living in New York, it costs an arm and a leg just to get to San Diego, let alone having a table there and all that other stuff. So you're a New York person, you have to hit the local conventions, and you have to grind, and you have to really, 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 really push, as you are well aware.
Yes, like I said, the grind is real. It's like you just don't stop. Because it's like, did you find like it's surprising that it's like, oh snap, I can do this in color, or is your book in color?
The book will be in color. That was one of those other circumstances. All the people that I know, they were like, we can get it in color, but we have to get it funded for color. And you don't need to have it colored now. You can do a little bit of color now, and the rest will fund, and then we can finish coloring it. I'm like, I never thought about that.
Just be a little careful with that, because it's like, it's like you want to be able, it's like sometimes you do need the crowdfunding to pay for things, but you don't want to all of a sudden be 6 years down the road going, oh yeah, we still have to fulfill that campaign. So be careful with that.
That's actually one of the reasons why our goal is a little higher than normally for a first time out, because I'm like, these are the actual costs that is going to be.
Right. Oh, okay. Because I was gonna. Right. So, you wanna? It's like, hey, Jody. You want? Yeah. So here is the campaign. So you launched it on Saturday.
Yep. Saturday at noon.
So is there a video we should? How long is the video on it?
The video is 2 minutes long and explains everything. And one of the reasons for that was as our discussion was to make sure the page isn't super long, and also to let people know that we have physical pages and it's almost done. Right. So if you look at the video, you'll have me actually flipping through the pages.
Okay, so let's check out the video and.
Joy, and welcome to the Designated Kickstarter promotional video. This is your narrator, as well as the creator of Designated, Torres.
Are y'all getting audio?
Yeah.
As we scroll through some pages, penciled by Jay Smith, with inks by Marvel and DC's very own Peter Palmiotti, with a cover by Babe artist Francesco, also inked by Peter Palmiotti, I will tell you a little bit about the book. Designated is a 5-issue miniseries that tells the tale of 2 warring alien races, the peace-loving Forlans and the warlike Duronians, fighting over a newly discovered power source, the Capricious Star. This war finds its way to Earth, and our 5 heroes, Natasha, Kelly, Chris, Adam, and his younger brother Ed, not only wind up caught in the middle, but each gaining powers as a result. Designated has been a passion project of mine for almost 30 years. It is a full and complete story, over the 5-part series that is, and all 110 pages have already been written and penciled. With your support, you can help us get issue 1 colored, printed, and sent directly to you. Now, what Kickstarter campaign would be complete without perks? Not this one. We have a few items, such as digital and physical copies of the book, trading cards, original artwork, and few high-end collectors out there, custom-made 5- and 6-inch clay figurines as the main characters by clay sculptor Shadow Rabbit. You can see more of his finished stuff at www.shadowrabbitart.com. As I have said countless times on my syndicated radio show, It Came From Radio, which can be heard on both terrestrial and online radio stations, as well as on over 40 different podcast places. If you're unable to financially support this project, like and share it on your social media platforms. And maybe someone else you wouldn't even know about it will be able to help and be part of making this book a reality.
Wow, that had some really like PBS Channel 13 vibes. I actually like that.
That video and audio was so hard to do. You don't even know.
I mean, it's like, I think that there's a certain charm in the simplicity that you just went just straight, look, here are the pages. I'm just going to scroll through it. No special effects, no nothing, just the voiceover. And that's it. Which goes to show you that, sometimes, it's like, I don't know, the oddest things will kind of appeal the most to people. So I hope people like that video, because it's I was like, oh, this is nice vibing thing. It's like, so here are the colored pages. So you said that so the book is going to be in color when it's printed.
Correct.
Right. And also the thing that you said that you had the entire story penciled.
Yes, the entire story is pencil, but we're doing so one of the hopes is that we have the ability to, with further stretch goals, that we can actually give you issue 2, issue 3, issue 4, and do a trade if we make that goal.
Oh, okay.
Because we have it all, it's there. The pencils and story is there. So that's the advantage that we have.
Right. So instead of I guess doing individual issues, it's depending on how this campaign goes, you actually might go straight to trade then.
Yes, you could. So if we have it all set up, so we only have a little stretch goal right now, but if we reach that one, then I'll put up the next one and put up the next one, as opposed to having it all out there, because sometimes that's like
and there is Sunburst right there, who like I said, it's like that's the character that I always associate with you.
Yep. So I felt that sometimes if you say, oh, we're gonna make a 10-part series,
right,
people are like, oh, 10 parts. So if you say we'll have one part and you reach one part, like, oh, we have a second part, I think it actually makes it better for the campaign. That's just my personal opinion.
Right.
So that way people are like, oh, well, they'll never make $1 billion to get the whole trade, but let's just work on a little at a time. So yeah, it is extremely possible to get the entire trade with the backing, and you won't have to pay more. So like if you get it and we reach it, you'll get issue 2 and issue 1 together. You get issue 1, 2, and 3 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then
so just pretty much the stretch goals will unlock new issues then, which is pretty interesting. So Francesco, it's like as far as I'm concerned, you went old school with this. It's like I said, it's like Peter, I know, has been like, we've been seeing each other also for years. We've been seeing each other at San Diego. So kind of like, so seeing you on this campaign is kind of like almost like, the band is getting back together again, and Francesco is also a name that I haven't seen in a while. Like I remember him back when he was, having his artwork printed in the, was it the Comics Buyer's Guide? That newspaper, I don't quite remember it. No, I don't know if it was the Comics Buyer's Guide. There was like a newspaper. Do you remember the name of that? It's like it was a comics newspaper. Huh?
Yeah. It might have been Buyer's Guide.
It might have been.
I know
it was a newspaper.
Yeah,
there was a comics newspaper back then. Like literally, it's like yes, all you youngins in the chat. It's like we had to read a newspaper to get the latest comic book news at the time. It's like none of this looking up on a website bullshit. We literally had to get a physical newspaper.
And it was Comics Buyer's Guide.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah, it was John Jackson Miller edited it.
Right. So it's just what made you what made you get Francesco? And
Francesco was somebody who I had ran into, and the thing about Francesco is that we decided, because neither one of us remembers how we originally met, so we decided just to make up a story, and every time we make up a new story, and one of them's going to stick, and that's going to be the story of how we met. So we met in a bar somewhere, talking about comics, and one thing led to another. And I was like, "Hey, I have an idea for a book. Would you want to do the cover?" And he's like, "Sure." And one of the things that's interesting about Francesco back then, remember, this is throughout the 30-year story.
Right,
so I don't even know what part of the 30 years I ran into him, but he only drew digitally.
Right.
So Pete is a traditional artist, and he only uses on physical paper. And I remember that conversation like it was yesterday. I go, "Hey, Pete, I have Francesco to do the art." He's like, "Great, have him send me the pages." And Francesco's like, "There's no pages. There's no original. It's only digital." And Pete's like, "What do you mean there's no original? What am I supposed to do with that?"
So Peter, you ink completely traditional. You don't do digital inking either.
Well, I'm traditional. I do more blue line now, which is what it's called. I guess that was the first time I experienced not inking over actual pencils. But I'm the only person to ink Francesco, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, he did a wonderful cover, and I really love the way it came out, and especially it looks awesome colored.
Yeah, it's like did Francesco do the coloring, or was there somebody else who did that?
He had his coloring guy do the coloring. So this was a one of a kind thing that he actually let somebody else ink it, and then he got it back, and he sent it to his coloring guy.
So that's the cover, or is that going to be a variant cover?
It's the color adjacent. I actually spoke to Francesco, and he said that he wants to do like a retouch up So when he gets me that, we'll use that for the actual cover. But it's gonna kind of sort of look like that.
Right. But this is the cover to the first. But like I said, is the cover to the first issue, or is it a variant cover?
That's the idea of what the cover will look like.
Okay.
It's gonna sort of look like that, probably almost exact, but there's gonna be little tweaks and changes.
Right.
An updated version. So that way it just has, but it will be Francesco and it is Pete's inks on it.
Right. So let's see. So how many days are you running? Yeah, exactly. Those are the two. I think Comic Shop News is still around.
Comic Shop News. Holy crap. I haven't heard that. No.
Yeah, no. Usually when we go to not Jim Hanley's, to Midtown, that they still have it there. So you have 29 days left to go. So you have a really, really odd numbered goal, because it's like I had to goof on it for a little bit. Like, why did you make it like 79 cents at the end of that? It's like, so, but you said that there's a reason why the goal is that specific number.
Yeah, it was the ballpark estimate for printing, shipping, and I was told by many people, do not underestimate the shipping, do not underestimate the fees.
Yeah.
And the one thing that did surprise me about Kickstarter was that there is a per backer fee.
Yeah.
And so I actually had to figure out how much money would a person need to spend, how much would they take from that.
Yeah.
So that, with the estimate of the publishing and printing and the coloring and the lettering, that's where I came up with that number.
Right. It's like, so I mean, things, I don't know. It's like, because that's usually not what we see on campaigns. It's like, why didn't you just round it up?
Well, that also it creates a question, and it creates a conversation, and it creates an eye.
Oh, sneaky.
I did work a Blockbuster for 10 years, and I worked at a movie theater for 10 years. So that's 20 years of retail experience.
All right. Oh, there you go.
Everything's 99 cents, not $1.
Exactly. Not $1, which makes it a bargain, right? So let's see. So like you said, you can get digital copies, you can get the physical copies. The more you unlock on the campaign, actually more issues you can get on this campaign. It's like, so the thing is, though, so we started off the show talking about how a lot of people, they get into the grind of doing like this is technically your first comic, isn't it?
This is my first doing it myself comic. Like I said, I did get my the Phaser crossover issue with Mariana Caesar through RZG Comics, and that was a collaboration effort. So I wrote some of the story, he wrote some of the story, and then he worked on the publishing end. But this is all me, for this particular book.
So what did you do? So how long did it take from deciding that, okay, we're going to do this crowdfunder to now, and what did you do to prepare, in the meantime?
So without getting into the fun part of the conversation, I was supposed to go through it with another publisher, and I decided I should do it myself because of conversations we had. So the circumstances were kind of, this is what we're going to do. This is the time frame we have. Oh, now I'm doing it by myself. Great. What do I need to do?
Right.
So I had a very small window to try and figure out what to do on my own based on what we were going to do with the publisher, with a separate publisher, and then talking to tons and tons of people. So I had over an hour long conversation with you and JD, and I've played that conversation many, many, many times. The preparation was, can I get it done by myself?
Right.
So what does that entail? And the biggest thing that I find was to have a graphic designer. So if I did not have a graphic designer, this whole thing would have never happened. And so I want to give a shout out. She's all the way at the bottom. That's Abby Gabato. She's from the Philippines. She designed all this stuff. She did all the design work, and without that, it would never happen. And it is beautiful. It's amazing what she did. And as there is a discussion going on about getting work overseas and outsourcing overseas,
right? Yeah,
the price was phenomenal based on what I was told this sort of thing would have cost.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's, it's funny. It's like, I'm so used to doing everything myself. Like a graphic designer is not something I would have even thought about. Like I'm the one putting together the files and doing the graphics and everything. But the thing is, that's something that, depending on what your skill set is, I mean, is she going to be putting together the files for print for you as well? Yes. So she's doing all that technical stuff, and it's like, and it's like, that's something that when you're going into, like, the general going into like doing something like this, that's just as important as everything else. It's like, how are you going to get this together to print? How are you going to create that visual branding that will help sell your book? And that's something to consider. Like I said, I'm used to doing this all by myself. So
even the logo that we have, the MSC Studios logo, Pete and her designed that together.
Right.
So it's just the little things, like, I need a logo. What do you mean I need a logo? What do you mean I need a type-made logo? What is that? What are you talking about?
Right.
So those are all the things that you don't even think about until you get down to it, the nitty-gritties.
Right. So so I guess like these were kind of like the little surprises. So what other kind of little surprises that you were like going, wait a minute, I have to do that? What is that? It's like, and or was there any big surprises that kind of like came out of nowhere? Like,
since I'm not technology friendly, that's another thing. Just that video, like, holy crap, that video was so hard to do. Because just getting the camera to get it to work, to get the lighting right, to just have that background and the images, it took me like 2 days to figure that part out.
Yeah.
And then to do the audio, I had to do a separate audio, and I don't know how to edit that stuff, so I had to get the graphic designer to put that together. So right there, those little things all add up so much. Every little change, every little bit it's so many things that you don't know you have to do. The biggest thing, how hard is this gonna be? It's like, I remember in 2008 when I first went to San Diego Comic-Con, everybody kept on telling me how big it was, how big the place was, how physically large that place was. I was like, yeah, it's bigger, whatever. And when I got there, I was like, holy crap, it's really that big. Just like everybody's telling you it's gonna be hard work, but until you actually do it, you don't know how hard work it is. I always liken this to making a movie. Like, you think it's gonna be easy. You just get a couple of actors, you read the script, you film some stuff. No, it's really hard. And then it's harder than you think it is. So think how hard it could possibly be, and then make it harder.
It's like hiring a contractor. If a contractor tells you it's going to take 2 weeks, it's actually going to take a month and a half. But the movie analogy is because Nita did effects makeup for movies. We went through this entire thing where JD went to film school for, I don't remember how long, but it's like, he went to film school, and it's definitely not what you think it is. It's everything is a lot harder than you think it's going to be.
I blame pop culture for that.
Right. Yeah.
You watch movies and TVs. Oh, it seems easy.
Yeah.
You just get together and make a road trip. No.
Right.
No.
Yeah. Exactly. No. There is something to that. That it's like, it's like the whole thing with San Diego. It's like, everyone says how big it is, and then you go over there and it's like, holy crap, it took me 45 minutes just to walk from one end to the other without really looking at anything. So I mean, it's like, I know that, so Peter, do you have any take on this camp? I mean, because you're just a veteran of all this, so do you have like a take on any of this? Or? Oh, that's
I will say, like, the first issue is fully inked. I got pages of issue 2 and 3 inked, but I'll be focusing on issue 2 now. If we crowdfund and it goes insane and we get the trade or the whole graphic novel, then I'll just work on getting it done.
Right. Oh, so there you go.
But
Yeah,
I'm juggling a lot of different projects right now.
Right, I could imagine. Yeah, but yeah. So even if you don't make it to the trade paperback in this campaign, so how are you planning on doing the next campaigns? Are you just going to go straight to trade paperback, or are you going to like release each issue until you fund enough to get to the trade?
So that's an interesting question, and I will be able to answer that better in
the future.
20 days. 20 days.
Until we see what's going on. Okay.
But one of the things that was a possibility was going through Zoop. Zoop, it's a new guy on the field. I liken them to the Fox.
Right.
Being Fox Network back in the day, it was only 3, and then Fox comes along as the upstart guy. We had an interview with the head. He was a very nice guy, and we spoke a lot. And he was like, if you have the project a little more finished,
right,
you can do it on Zoop, and they will do everything for you. So right there,
right,
they design everything. They actually now have a fulfillment portion of Zoop now, which is separate. So you can just go to them just to fulfill. So he said, come back a little more. You need a little more.
Right.
Come back. So if just by this, if we get a little more ready, if everything's all lettered and everything, the book is ready in PDF form and ready to go out, even if we don't fund, it's more finished.
Right.
So I can go like, hey, look, this is what I got. Because he seems very open to talking about it. So that's my thing. So if that's the case, and we're like, yeah, we can do a whole thing through them. So we don't know.
Oh, so there you go. So, but like you said, we have to wait another 20 days to see how that works out. So, because obviously this is a big learning experience for you, and and it's just a step at a time. Just breathe and step at a time. That's
first. First time's always a kick in the dick. It gets easier.
I don't like.
Actually, it doesn't. Actually, it doesn't get easier, but
you become more accepting of it, right?
Exactly. Well, yeah. It's always
the abuse becomes ritualistic.
I welcome the ball kicking.
You know what? Ritualistic is a good word.
Thank you. May I have another?
Yes, it really does. No, I'm serious. It's like, even look, we've done like 30. I've stopped counting, but 30 something campaigns, and every campaign, it's like there's something new we have to do. There's something new we have to try. We learn something. It's like, will it work here? Will it work there? And it's always something. So, I mean, it's like, look, in the end, all you have to do is just, have fun with the work you're doing, and and it's like, and just keep hustling, keep it consistent, and and remember, consistency better than perfection. So, even if you don't make the goals that you're kind of expecting, there's always a way to move forward with it. So it's like you said, let's revisit this in 20 days. So as you can see,
failure would be stopping.
Right, exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
That's the only time you fail.
Right,
really.
Exactly. So as you can see, it's on Kickstarter right now. What's the name of the book again? I'm sorry. Designated. So it's like, Designated is on Kickstarter right now. Link is going to be in the show notes. So so the sooner we get this funded, I guess the faster they can get to a trade paperback. So, and we all, and we were all talking about, trade paperbacks are easier to collect for us than individual issues. So check out everything in the show notes below. So, Mark, you want to tell
one other thing? There's two other things I wanted to mention.
Oh, okay. So go ahead.
In the campaign, we have original artwork for sale. Like the pages are actual physical pages, so we can they'll be randomly inserted if you get that. We have one of those tiers, and as I mentioned, for the super high tiers, for the clay figurines, they look like this.
Oh, look at how nice they are. That's cute.
So this is a 5-inch figurine by Shadow Rabbit Art. So if you're a high-end collector, you can get a custom-made character of one of the characters of the book.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
So it looks like that. I always wanted to point that out, that this is what it actually looks like. because the image isn't that great on the campaign, but like this is
really
nice.
Things like that, like depends on how you photograph it and what, but it's always interesting to see it in
toys,
person.
Figures, hollows, and silvers. The pictures never do them justice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I had to show that since we're all video,
absolutely
get that puppy out there.
Is that? But also, is that a limited edition or is it like one of
they're
one?
They're custom handmade, handcrafted. So if
okay.
You can have whatever pose, whatever character you want. You can pick any of the 6 characters, and then I know for the super high end, he said that he's willing to do a diorama or like a battle scene with all the characters in there,
nice.
or a 10-inch figure with that's even more details, and you get to decide what poses or whatever you want.
Wow. Okay. So there you go. So there you go. So everyone support the campaign so you don't miss out on that opportunity, because that's pretty cool. So where can everybody find you, Mark, aside from the Kickstarter, of course?
I always like to say just Google It Came From the Radio. Usually we're in the top 5 because the name is so unusual, but just Google It Came From the Radio. You can find us anywhere. www.itcamefromtheradio.com. We are a weekly show. If you're living in Westchester County, New York, 88.1 FM WARY. If not, we're on online radio stations, and we're also on over 40 podcast places, Spotify, iTunes, any of those things. Just type it in, Came From Radio, and we'll pop up.
There you go. So, Peter, where can the peoples find you?
You can find me everywhere online. Just Google my name, Peter Palmiotti. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, other places.
Right, there you go. And also you do your own stream show too as well, right? Or you're kind of you're too busy right now. Well,
no. I'm streaming every day this month. I got multiple projects to promote. So I'm inking stuff. I'm making my own art. I'm inking pages, whatever comes up.
All their information can be found in the show notes.
It keeps him honest and working if he's on video working.
Right. Yeah, there you go. That's true. I'm beginning to get into that myself. So I just want to thank everybody in the chat for joining us. I want to thank the mystery people who are also watching us from regions beyond. If you're watching from Facebook or Twitter, thank you for spending this hour with us on this, or at least on my end, this dreary, muggy Monday morning-ish.
Rose here too.
Yeah. So thank you for coming. And Nita, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Facebook as Nita Lanning. You can find me on Twitter at C_chaos247 and other accounts there as well with the same name. And anywhere you can find the Ragin banner.
Oh, there you go. And if you want to learn more about me and my work and my comics and all that fun stuff, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS, where you can find links to all of my galleries and social media sites, but I mostly post to Facebook if you're into seeing all my brand new artwork, works in progress, the whole 9 yards there. I'm pretty much more active on Facebook than any place else. Again, you can check me out on my YouTube channel at Daphne Lage Art, where I have a Wednesday stream from 4 to 6. And also at EgoWorks, you can read the first 5 issues of Ego Raven, Air the First Unicorn in its original black and white format. But if you prefer your fantasy to be more of a Lord of the Rings type of adventure, follow the link over to Tall Tales, TAILSonline.com, and read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free. So on that note, again, I just want to thank everybody for joining us. Check out all the links in the show notes below. And the next time you'll see me is tomorrow on Facebook. I will be doing my hour-long kind of drawing music stream again. I'm still, kind of like working this experiment on Facebook. So if you don't follow me on Facebook, follow me on Facebook so you can watch my stream tomorrow. And then it's like I have my stream on Wednesday. We do it again on Facebook on Thursday. And then I'm back with Nita on Friday at 11 a.m. And like I said, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you get notified whenever any of our shows go live so you don't miss a thing. So on that note, in the words of the ancients, eat your food, moisturize, mind your business, and do the work, because when you actually do the work, you never have to fake any of your accomplishments. Any words from the ancients from you, Nita?
Hit the button.
There you go. Can't get any simpler than that. So, see you later.
Bye.